Pat Forde from Yahoo Sports. Pat, have you seen Interstellar?
I have not, and I cannot add to the discussion, I'm afraid.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Pat. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Where were you this weekend?
Tuscaloosa.
Yeah. All right. I asked you this before, and I'm curious what you think about it now. Mississippi State losing at Alabama, where I don't think anybody could beat Alabama there at Alabama in Tuscaloosa, but Mississippi State made it interesting at least. Do they drop out of your top four?
No, I've got them fourth right now. Close, between them and Baylor and TCU and even Ohio State at the periphery of the discussion there. It's basically 7 teams for 4 spots now. But they were beaten. They were beaten pretty handily, but they were never blown out. In the second half, they got it to within 1 score. And if they could have gotten off the field on a third down, would have had a possession to win or to take the lead. You are exactly right that going into Tuscaloosa, nobody's going to win in there. So I don't think that's a make-or-break loss for them at all.
TCU, bad win?
Yeah, very bad win. I mean, Kansas is atrocious. And to be trailing Kansas by 10 points in the second half, that's a bad look. And, they've got it. They now got Thanksgiving Day with Texas, the game that looks harder and harder. And if they play like they did against Kansas, they'll lose.
Yeah, Texas is getting better.
Yeah.
It's taken a while, but they're getting better. And Florida State wasn't a bad loss, though, or bad win, right?
For Florida State, no.
Yeah.
It was a scary win because they did what they do. I mean, they get behind by 16 points, but then, to their credit, they held Miami to 3 points in the last 40 minutes of the game. They make enough plays. They get lucky here and there. They get a missed chip shot field goal. They get a deflected pass they catch for a touchdown. That's the way Florida State rolls. But, I guess everybody gets breaks during the course of a game. We just tend to remember Florida State's more because of everything going on with them.
Melvin Gordon's performance, what will that do to the Heisman voters' perception of Melvin Gordon?
No, I think it totally changes it. I mean, I think most people were like Mariota, Prescott, probably Mariota, and now Prescott throws 3 interceptions. That certainly doesn't help him. But on the same day, Melvin Gordon runs for 408 in 3 quarters. Holy cow. I mean, that's just phenomenal. And it wasn't against, Texas El Paso. It wasn't against an FCS team. It was against a ranked team, even though Bo Pelini's team seemed to have trouble tackling against Wisconsin. But, I mean, that's incredible, and I think it's now Melvin Gordon and Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, I can't give it to Melvin. I like the kid. We had him on last hour, but not for one game. Yeah, I still have to look at Mariota on a bigger scale, what he's done. Melvin Gordon, look, there might be some nice consolation prizes and a good season, but I can't take one game and give it to a Heisman. We've done that before in history, but I can't do that.
Yeah, we have, and I mean his body of work is pretty good for the season. I think it's 8 straight 100-yard games, a couple of 200-yard games, and quite honestly, if you go back to the first game of the year, Wisconsin's playing LSU in Houston, and it was just a weird, mismanaged game by Wisconsin. Gordon ran the ball like twice in the second half, and there was some talk whether he was hurt or whether there was a dispute or whatever. If they run him in that game and they win that game, and they're sitting there with 1 loss right now.
Yep.
We'd look at him differently.
Yes, I agree. Look, it's not always fair, and he's got 1,900 yards and 23 touchdowns, but I think the one game is going to stand out, and maybe Mariota hasn't had that. But if you've watched what he's done the entire season, and they're a top 4 team, so I have to factor that in as well. We're talking to Pat Forde from Yahoo Sports. The Todd Gurley situation. Explain to me how paying for his insurance policy is not a special benefit, an added benefit for Todd Gurley.
That's something that they've amended the rules in recent years so that some of that you can pay a limited amount and get insurance. So why they changed the rule. I think they just felt like everybody should have access to that players should have access to some amount of insurance.
But how many players can you insure? That Gurley didn't pay for this.
Right. No, I don't know, quite honestly. I don't know whether you can insure everyone or it has to be somebody who has a demonstrable earning potential that could be at risk. I am not sure what the parameters are for that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. But that would seem like an extra benefit for Gurley because his draft stock is going to drop. He's going to make money off of that. How do you prove that? So if is he a top 15 player, and then anything after that, then all of a sudden he's going to get that money, that insurance money?
Well, you'd have to. I don't know what the letter of the policy says. A lot of policies say that you have to actually literally lose your ability to work in that job, which means he would have to be unable to, even be drafted or make a roster.
Well, this is lost of value. This is just draft value. So they have a special insurance policy for if you get hurt and you lose your draft status or you drop in the draft.
Well, and it would be interesting to see whether it's what the wording is, if he can cash in on that. Remember the old Michael Crabtree thing, he tried to redo his contract based on what experts said he would be drafted as.
All right, the Florida job is open. I said that this is a new way of doing it, but you say to Will Muschamp, you're fired, but we want you to work for the next couple of games. Now everybody in America knows the job is open. There's no surreptitious, clandestine meetings or anything. Everybody knows it's open. So is this Dan Mullen's job if he wants it?
I don't think so. No, there's not a great relationship between Dan Mullen and Jeremy Foley, the athletic director at Florida, going back to when he was an assistant coach there and since. And I don't think that. I think there's probably mutual lack of interest or lack of belief that they could work together. So that makes it more interesting when it looked like he'd be the logical guy. Then there's been some talk about Rich Rodriguez. There's been some talk about, Oh, yeah.
Oh, we got to get him in the SEC. No, not Bob Stoops.
It would be, he was a defensive coordinator there under Spurrier. He liked it there. Foley likes him. He likes Foley. And if he decides after 15 years it's gotten stale in Norman,
you got to get Rich Rod in the SEC.
Oh, it'd be great.
Just for the entertainment value.
Yeah. I am officially petitioning for it now.
See, I could see Stoops. There have been times when he could have left. I know he inquired about the Browns job and some other opportunities there. But man, he would leave Oklahoma to go to Florida, or there is that possibility. You're saying?
I just think if I were Foley, I'd make the call, and he's made the call before when he's had openings, and Stoops wasn't ready to leave, but. Like I said, it's been a little bit diminishing returns at Oklahoma. People are getting restless there because they aren't winning championships. I think Oklahoma would immediately miss him when he left, but at the time, I don't think anybody would be that crying a river. And if you're Florida, I'd give him a call.
So your top four: Alabama 1,
Alabama 1, Oregon 2, Florida State 3, and Mississippi State 4.
Number 5, TCU?
Number 5, Baylor.
Oh.
Head-to-head. Got to count for something.
Oh, we still got a lot of football left. Your job is too easy this year, Pat.
It is.
It is.
Hey, we just keep getting fodder. It's been great.
Good to visit with you again. Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
Pat Forde, Yahoo Sports.